Hey Sven, have you seen Thunderbucket? Is that a movie? No, it's this metal band from Trondheim. They've got this song that's gone viral about the brutality of agricultural working conditions. Wait. That voice. Herbie, does that singing drummer look familiar to you? Familiar? Huh. You're right. He does. I would have thought it would have taken him much longer to find his way out of hell. He never was known for being the brightest. True, but when you're that strong, you don't have to be. However it happened, Santa needs to see this immediately.
By my beard! That is indeed him. He swings those drumsticks just like he used to swing Mjolnir. Thor's found his way out of hell somehow. How long has this band been around?
I'm not sure. There's not a lot of information about them. All I know about them is this song and the fact they're from Trondheim. I'm not even sure how many members there are.
I'm surprised he's also singing. Drumming I can see, but he was never inclined to singing. Besides, how often do you see that combination?
I can only think of one other.
Let us speak of him not.
Do I take it that we're to set off to retrieve him?
We'll talk to him at any rate. Whether he comes with us or not is another story.
Why do you think he wouldn't?
The boy was always an independent and impetuous sort. He may not want to.
But you're his father and king. You could order him to come back.
Why would I do that? Did I order Hela to come back here? No, because she was happy where she was. Even if I had tried, by what authority would I do so? Yes, I was king of the Aesir and Vanir back in the old times, but you elves and even my son Balder serve me because you choose to, not because I hold any power over you. At least, I hope that's how you all see things. Nay, if Thor does not wish to come back with us to the North Pole, we'll not attempt to force him. We've no right to.
How do you think he'll react to seeing you? It's been a long time.
I do not know. He's always been an unpredictable sort. Where did you say it is we're to find him?
It's a dive bar called Orly's. It should be just around the corner.
Ah, so it is. Let's catch this show. Herbie, you had a good idea for us to dress like the mortals.
Judging by the listed start time, it should be over or nearly so. That'll be perfect for having an opportunity to catch him to talk.
Even better. Ah, and there he is, just walking off stage. I'd know him anywhere. Ho there! Drummer! Oh, hey. What did you think of the show? Father? You're alive? And you have 2 eyes. Ho ho ho! Yes, Thor, it's me, but in a new seeming, fit for the new age of mortals. Also, the eye is a fake one. They make those now. Did you find your way out of Hela's realm too? Ho ho ho. Oh, no. I never died in the first place. Fenrir did devour me as he was fated to, but he swallowed me whole. After Vidar slew him, I managed to cut my way out of him with Gungnir. I knew we would lose the battle, but with the last of my Seder, at least as it was then, I managed to see a glimmer of hope if I escaped, though I understood it not. I knew that Midgard was my only hope. I slipped away and found Sleipnir, who I rode down the World Tree, rescuing many of the denizens of Alfheim as I went, along with Balder. He'd just escaped Hela's realm as prophesied, but rage over his unjust death transformed him into a monstrous beast. We found a very out-of-the-way place to settle, and over the years, through means I do not fully understand, the collective mortal consciousness somehow gave us the seeming of Santa Claus and his elves, with Balder becoming the Krampus. And you're all okay with this? I mean, it is good to see that Midgard did not burn, but it would seem you've lost station. Not at all. I have more adulation now than I ever did. even though it's no longer about that. I have changed, as we all have. That is, after all, life. Speaking of which, when did you find your way out of Hell's realm? It was around 7 months ago, I think. I remember wandering around the mists of hell, and I thought I saw someone familiar. That sparked a small piece of memory that quickly came to burn with a desire for revenge. I gave chase and found myself outside a cave. I did not see the figure, who I then realized I thought was Loki. Instead, far off in the distance, I saw a small dog and a man-like figure covered in green hair. Ah, that actually was Loki. We encountered him last year. Encountered? What trickery was he at? Ah, by the time he got to us, none. He feared he was going mad, in fact. There was music only he could hear until he came to terms with his past and resolved to be better. How do you know this wasn't another one of his lies?
There was singing, too. We could hear that.
Eh?
It gradually faded out. I could tell he was genuinely relieved.
How?
I'm a therapist. I don't fool easily.
So, what? He's with you now? Yes, and Fenrir. Fenrir! Don't worry, he's very small and friendly now. He's cute and love-shaped. This all sounds quite mad. The last 4 years have been quite mad. Every year we faced a threat to Christmas, and every year we've faced it down one way or another. Threats? Huh. Next thing you'll tell me is that Surtur still plagues creation. He did until your brother killed him. And then Devolver killed him again. I feel like I am missing quite a bit there.
You are. Long story short, the first crisis was Ymir's return as a snowman, and many of us Yurlalver died fighting the clones he made of himself. Then, 2 years ago, we rescued them from the underworld.
Oh, is that all? We can explain it all to you on the way back to the North Pole. How do you mean? I'm sorry, I suppose I should ask you. Would you like to come with us to where we live now? You want me to come live with you? If you'd like to. I suppose you could come see it and decide. If you like what you're doing now, we'll bring you back. It's all up to you. So you're not going to just command me? That's not how it works anymore. I no longer rule. I simply lead. All right. I'll come see for myself. We're not booked to play anywhere for another couple weeks anyway. I just need to tell our guitarist. I've been sleeping on his couch since I got here. This is the monitoring center. We call it the Nest of Ratatosk. Here a group of elves known as the Sons of Heimdall watch all the world for signs of particular naughtiness and niceness in children. After the first crisis 4 years ago, we also started monitoring for threats to Christmas. I can't believe you have to do that. I wish we didn't. Speaking of, Magnus, it's not far from Christmas. Have you seen anything amiss as of yet?
Nay, your father. We've seen naught of concern yet.
Good. Good. Perhaps we'll not have a disturbance this year.
Huh. That's odd.
Why did I open my mouth? Because you're good at it?
It's some sort of interference.
Interference? How is that possible? Our equipment works with magic. Nothing the mortals make can interfere with it, nor even geomagnetic activity. Nothing the mortals make, you say? Perhaps you have your sign of trouble.
Loki, we need you in the nest right away.
You suppose a magical threat?
What else would make sense?
I've been here for not half an hour, and at this point even I would assume so.
All right, I'm here. What's going... Oh. Oh, no.
Loki.
Now, Thor, I understand we had our differences in the past. I get that. And I understand you being more than a bit upset with me. All the same...
Hold your now furred-tongued deceiver. Hold, son. This is not the time for old grudges. Loki, do you see the interference on the monitors?
Oh, yes. Allow me to listen for just a moment. Ah, yes. It's the work of Thrym.
How can you tell that?
Look, I'm a giant and a magician, and quite a good one, I might add. There's a certain subtle frequency I can make out amidst the static.
Isn't he the one who stole Mjolnir that once?
Yes, that was rather a time, wasn't it?
I hardly remember it, actually. I was quite drunk.
Oh, quite. I remember that was the only way you'd put on the wedding dress and veil.
I will admit, it was comfortable.
Ha, yes. Anyway, it seems that he must have escaped death as well. I wonder where he is. Here on Earth? Back in Jotunheim? I suppose we'll find out soon.
Jotunheim? How would he get back there from hell?
Well, my daughter's realm connects to all the 9 worlds. After all, everyone can go there after death, so it's not as if any one world solely connects to it.
Do you mean that this whole time we could have gotten back to Asgard by traveling to the land of the dead, and you didn't say anything until just now?
Wait. Are you seriously telling me it didn't occur to you? I'd have thought it quite obvious, so much so, in fact, that I assumed you had a reason for not using that route and didn't bring it up. I mean, I sailed there in Nalfar from Asgard, and you knew that.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but he has a point. Fair. That is fair. So, what do we do?
Well, I suppose that depends on what this means. There's no intelligible message in this signal. We don't know what he wants.
I suppose, then, that there's only one way to find out. Thor, do you fancy a trip back home? I thought this was home now. Yes, but there's our original home as well. We have managed to find a way there, which is in fact what led to Loki's return to the land of the living. How? It will help if we show you. Magnus, contact Ingmar. Have him ready the sleigh for travel back to Asgard. Aha! I see Sleipnir also has a new seeming. Aye, and he serves me well still. He sired each of the rest of this herd. That's how they're able to fly through the air and across dimensions to other worlds. Now I miss my goats. I wonder if they survived somehow. If so, perhaps we'll see them. We'll be going over much more of our homeland than we did when we first saw it. By the way, it's different now. Different? How? Have the mortals influenced it as well? It is difficult to explain. You will understand when you see it. I mislike the sound of that.
I suggest you withhold judgment.
Let us away. We must find out what Thrym intends for Christmas.
Loki, you were there for centuries. Do you have any idea what we might see throughout the countryside?
Not at all. You flying toward Nalfar in the sleigh allowed you to see much more than I ever did. I only had a view of the coast and just a bit inward. Remember that I was stuck on the ship. Should we bring Balder with us?
Nay, he can stay here and guard the North Pole. Should we encounter danger, you'll be with us. Are you volunteering me for combat? Would you object? It's always been sort of your hobby, I suppose. We'll see if it comes to that, but you said before that you no longer rule, but lead. Fair. It is not as if I cannot hold my own, even as I am now.
We should go.
Aye. Trim may be working dark deeds to take Christmas for himself, or destroy it, or some such.
I shall be vigilant in your absence. And brother, it is good to see you returned.
And it is good to know that you found some inner peace that allowed you to return from being the monster I did not see. Now, reindeer, away! How are we to get to Asgard from here without Bifrost or Yggdrasil? Yes. Our elven researchers discovered certain points that we can target in our flight to break through the barrier between worlds. The point we're heading to now will take us to Asgard. Like so. By Mjolnir's short handle, I do not see Asgard. All I see is
the vague, shadowy suggestion of Asgard.
Aye.
Look, I was stranded for centuries as a ghost aboard Nalvar, looking at that area, and I assure you that it is at least where Asgard was. Whether you'd still call it Asgard is, I suppose, a philosophical question. All the same, whatever you call it, there it is.
But how can that be? You mean the fact that, rather than destroyed, Asgard instead appears to be caught in a state between existence and non-existence? I'm afraid we're in uncharted territory there. But it's impossible.
Impossible? You've seen me turn into a mare and come back having borne 3 children, one of which killed you, for which I do apologize. Your ancestry involves a cosmic bovine licking your great-grandfather out of a block of salt, and you're calling anything about our existences impossible?
Point taken. Father, should we land and investigate? I suppose we can take a few minutes to examine the outskirts. Rudolph, put us down right there.
Yes. As I thought. Getting closer to it does give the area more definition. It seems that its semi-absence must be at least in part due to our absence from it, as if the city depends on the presence of the gods to give it form.
And with most of us dead, repopulating it would be a tall order. Who's to say that's true? I found my way out of hell, so any of the rest of us could have as well.
Look at the buildings and the very ground becoming distinct again as we walk among them. Say, Thor, could you walk ahead just a bit while your father and I lag behind? I want to test something.
Does it have anything to do with that odd sound?
What odd sound? Oh dear. I suggest we make haste back to the sleigh.
Rudolph, prepare to take off as soon as we're in. What's making that noise? I know not, and we haven't the time to find out right now. Our task is to find Trim. We can tarry no longer. Rudolph, go! And I suspect that we may have tarried evermore had we stayed.
I say, are those giant beetles down there?
Beetles? It is likely that we shall have another matter to attend to at some point in the future. For now, at least, the countryside appears normal. Now, off to Jotunheim! Are we in the correct place? This does not look as I remember it.
Last time we were here, you left it looking almost this bad.
All right.
Don't get me wrong, though. Nature's reclaimed it. Nobody's been here for ages.
Not true. A giant's been through here recently. Look around.
Oh, my. Yes. The footprints are big enough I almost missed them.
Trim! Come out! I know you are here. What are you at?
Thor, are you mad?
Mad? No. I aim to settle old matters. Oh ho! Settle things, shall we? Let us then. Trim, please, we want no trouble. Nor do I. However, I do want this Christmas thing by which Helga has shown me. It appears you've found a new power to bring acclaim to you from mortals all over Midgard, and I want that for myself. Its power must be greater than even that of Mjolnir, which I stole so long ago to gain the upper hand over you, Aesir and Vanir. However, your son struck me down with the assistance of your trickster. He hasn't his hammer now, though, so my subjects and I may get our due from you. Nay, Trim, if you've quarreled with anyone, it's with me and me alone.
No, he has at least some with me. Certainly, you killed him, but I helped you do it. If he is to hold you accountable, then so must he me.
Loki? If you mean this, then you truly have changed.
Yes, I feel that I have. As if what had been my black, shriveled heart has grown 3 sizes.
Oh ho! Nay, Lord of Lies, if you wish for me to visit my vengeance upon you, then you must have some wicked trick up your sleeve to foil me. No. Ha 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 ha. Ah, no. I shall visit my wrath only upon the Thunder God. Son, what are you doing? Making up for who I was. You have just found me again, yes. But let the son you have recovered be better than the one you lost on the day of Ragnarok. Aye then, if you seek to be among the nice, then of all people Santa Claus shall not stop you, no matter who either of us has been in the past. Do what you must, and do it well. Come then! Helga led me along with many of my subjects out of the underworld. When we emerged, several of them advised that should you ever make it out of there and come looking for us, you would look for me in my hall. That is why what you see is only a trick. I am really in the plains 4 leagues to the northwest of this hall. Come find us, if you are a god of your word, Thor. I am, and I shall. Loki, could you tell that was an illusion?
Well, yes. Could you not?
I suspected but was unsure. I thought you would know for certain. That sort of magic has always been a bit more your domain. I care not. I will settle this. Let us away.
Are you seriously going to fight them without your hammer? I mean, you're strong, but come on. Each of them is easily thrice your size if they're an inch, and Thrym is even bigger.
I hear your concern, Loki, and while I do believe you mean well, I must do what I must do. This ill state between giant and god must end.
I have every confidence in you. Never did the frost giants best you in combat.
and neither shall it happen this day, for I will not fight. If they wish me to die a second time, I shall take that upon myself to satisfy their need for justice.
What? Yes! What he said!
Son, what are you saying? Oh, little gods, you have arrived. Aye, as I said. So, murderous though you are, you do still have some honor about you. Murderous? See here now. Stay your tongue, fat man. You appear to no longer bear the power you did, trading your wide-brimmed hat for this red suit. You've given up your station and left Asgard to rot. You've no place to speak to me as my better. Here now, I am the subject of your ire, not my father. Direct it not at him. Aye, you speak truly. Now then, Thunder God, what say you about your crimes against giant kind? You struck first at the Jotnar so very long ago without provocation. Now that you do not have your hammer, the fight is much more even. Cut him! Choke him! Hit him with a rock! A rock? What? They're big and hard, and they hurt a lot.
I have to say, he's not wrong.
Well, little god, what say you? How shall I kill you? However you will, if you must, to feel that justice has been satisfied, and that the feud between Jotun and God is over. I'll no longer fight you. Eh? What trickery is this?
I second the question. You've enough thunder of your own. Don't go stealing mine.
After I staggered forth from Hela's realm, I wandered for days, unsure of the world I had come back to. I learned I was in Midgard, and that hundreds of years had passed since Ragnarok. Everything was much different. I came across someone who took me in. I told him I had no memory of who I was, which I felt was a necessary lie. I slowly caught on to the modern world. I learned that humans have begun to recognize drunkenness as a sickness when it happens too much. When I learned more about that, I began going to what my roommate called meetings. Hearing others discuss the consequences of their fondness for drink, I realized what my old life had been. I remembered your kind and the warring I had made upon you all. I have never been particularly good at thinking, I will admit. But I thought much then, as well as I could. I asked myself a question. Why? Why did I start fighting all these frost giants who are living in Jotunheim? Giants are people, but they are much bigger and date back to the start of time. Ages had passed, and I just kept hammering. The smart ones, they knew to flee. I will restore it, the Bifrost connection, the Aesir, the Vanir, and me. Why'd I start doing that genocidal rampage? They hadn't done anything. I just started one day, swinging Mjolnir around. I think I had been drinking. Now it's much less hard, tramping around Midgard, and my life's become less bloody. I will restore it, the Bifrost connection, the Aesir, the Vanir, and me, traveling back to my home. If I could, would I really want to? Have you seen lightning flash? And have you heard thunder? I don't make them so much now. Retired storm god, that's what I have become. Am I so much happier now? My home could change and become very different. That's something I would like to see. I will restore it, the Bifrost connection, the Aesir, the Vanir, and me.
Well, that certainly happened.
Santa? We just saw a spontaneous a cappella musical number. Does this count as a Christmas miracle?
You know what? Sure, why not? It's a Christmas miracle, I guess. Let's go with that. So then, Trim, what say you?
I think, High One, that it is indeed time to leave the past in the past. We have all returned from death, and while our deaths were unjust, they were at least swift, and we are now none the worse for it. Jormungand's venom must have burned like nothing else, and after your return, you seem to have actually become a better person. You understand how inexcusable your actions were, and are sorry for it.
Your understanding means more than you know. I think that back then, I knew inside that I was wrong, yet I could not face it, so I wallowed in drink and hatred for myself. So always I fought and warred as a way of not looking at that part of me that I dared not see. Does this mean that I am forgiven, then?
For my part, yes, though I cannot speak for others.
Yeah, you're square with me. Me too. I'm still a bit sore about it, but I'm sure I'll get over it.
That is entirely fair, and I thank you all. You humble me with your grace.
One Eye, I do not believe I shall seek to take Christmas from you. If our people are all to start anew, then there can be no delay in it.
You know, I think you giants and my son all have the spirit of Christmas in you already. Trim, have you any children here?
Children? Handful? Why?
Because in that case, I shall have to come by for Christmas. Children are children after all, even if they're the size of small buildings. Herbie, when we get back, please prepare a team for this special detail.
Of course, Santa. This will be a truly joyous Christmas.
What of you, Thor? What will you do now? Well, if you'll have me, I think I'd like to stay with you and see for myself what this Christmas thing is all about. Friendship? Joy? Happiness? I think I need these things in my new life. I think I would like to help you bring them to others' lives as well. Ho, ho, ho! A Merry Christmas this shall indeed be.
I dare say it already is.
Thank you, Trim. It is indeed a new age. Midgard changed, and I have seen that so must we all. That has happened here, today. As we are friends now, I feel I must warn you about getting too close to Asgard. It is a place of half-existence, and many very large beetles are there. We know not from whence they come or even what they are. Right now we've neither the time nor the strength of numbers to investigate.
I thank you as well, All-Father, and I shall see what we can do to aid you as to your old home. I shall also have Helga use her magic to try to find Mjolnir, for if dangers exist, it would behoove us all for our new friend to have his old weapon.
Words cannot express my feelings at that sentiment, Trim. But we Aesir,
And elf, and a giant.
oh, you all know what I mean. Anyway, we must now hurry back to the North Pole to finish preparations for Christmas. Ho, ho, ho!